Welcome to Motivational Monday. This is Fed Razak, senior trading strategist here at CMTrading. So it's very clear tomorrow is going to be U.S. elections, and I want to discuss winners and losers. But before we start, make sure to smash the like button, share, and do subscribe. So I'm first starting out in my trading career, and one of the biggest challenges, I remember my first trade, I had it so clear, and I lost. I was right on the trade, but I lost money on the trade. I'll never forget it. It was trading Dell. And at the time, Dell was trading maybe about 10 to 15 cents. And I was just like so nervous at the moment that I procrastinated. I entered too late, but I was right. I was right on the trade, and I didn't make money on the trade at the end of the day. So this is the thing about winners and losers, and especially when tomorrow, definitively, we will have a president that will win and another president that will lose, is a couple of things to take away from it. Number one, you've got to learn something from your experience as losing. That is probably the most important part of it, is why did you lose? What was it? Well, can you isolate it? Can you just pinpoint it to the point that you could say, okay, I'm not going to do this again, because if I do this again, it'll put me in that state of mind, and I'm smarter now. Now, if I only made one mistake, for every mistake that I've made in my life, I would be good. And a mistake is not a number. A mistake is an event. That event might imply a number, but it's an event. That's all it is, right? So if somebody made a mistake and they lost $1 billion, and another person made the same mistake and they lost $1, it's still the event. You have to focus on the event, not about the money. Because when you focus about the money, that'll just throw you off. So that's another part of it, that you just have to really focus about the event. Now, this leads on to what I discuss about in terms of paying your dues or paying your education, right? Is that when you first start trading or when you first start a business, you're not going to be making right off the bat, okay? It's clear to 6 months to a year. It takes time for you to get acclimated to your game and acclimated to finessing your game, that you become profitable. Now, it's a matter of time. It could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be even longer, depending how quickly you want to learn. Now, those experiences, there are always these people that are outliers, right? In a group of 100 people, you'll have maybe 5 to 6 people that are doing fantastic out of it. And then the rest are somewhere in the middle, okay? And maybe a small percentage that is on the lower end. But that is generally the distribution, right? And in probabilities and statistical analysis, they have this thing called the bell curve. Well, the bell curve is really, you have your outliers, you have those ones that are on the top, okay, which is a lower amount, and then you have ones that are on the bottom, and then you have the majority of people in the middle, right? That's why it's called the bell curve, because it looks like a bell. Now, the point is that if you could get yourself just moving 1 degree closer to that outlier, okay, it's one step closer in the right direction. And I think that in any kind of environment that you're in, depending on what you're looking to do, the faster you fail, the more times you fail, the better you get at it. It's just very simple, okay? If you're practicing basketball 5 hours a day, as opposed to, playing 5 hours a day and just arbitrarily just looking at it from a perspective of an activity versus something that you're looking to build, you have different perspectives of it. So keep that in mind. And I think that as a presidential election, okay, it's really very exciting to see 2 candidates that are coming from completely different vantage points. It's not good, it's not bad. I don't want to take any sides here, but surely Donald Trump has learned from some of his mistakes from 4 years ago, and he's made some sort of corrections on them. Maybe not the political correctness in it, and he's been called out on it, but many of the other things that he did feel that he did not execute properly, he'll have a better opportunity in this term. And if Kamala Harris does not win, or she does win, okay, especially if she doesn't win, she'll learn certain lessons about herself and about the process of becoming a president-elect, okay? And she's had to learn very quickly, because it's only been since the end of August that Biden had stepped down from seeking a re-election, and she hasn't had much time to really focus on how she's going to decide about which policies she's going to implement and how she was going to implement it. And there's been a little bit of, I would say a little bit of friction there, okay, in order for her to come up with a game plan. But the point is, no matter which vantage point you're coming from, you're going to have to finesse the game for the next time. And in this case, the next time is only 4 years from now. So in trading, okay, I want to make the point that it doesn't necessarily take a 4-year gap before you're able to swing again in order to play your next move. So that's really an important element of it, is that you want to be in an environment, you want to be in a business that'll give you that opportunity, that'll give you and present you multiple opportunities to swing the bat again. I mean, I, as a father, have been using certain parental skills and parental techniques in order to react to my children. And you know how it is. I mean, with kids, if they're, didn't meet their expectations and, they go out in a tantrum or they have a full-time, meltdown and all this stuff, it's a lot about how you're going to react to it. Now, it doesn't happen every day, but it does happen often enough that if you can isolate that problem, then you could actually prepare yourself for that next time that it does happen so that you react properly. You've now won up on the game and you're on the outer edge of that bell curve at that point. And that's where you want to get to. You want to get to a point where you are reacting and responding to many different things instead of, some of the mistakes that you make, and not to repeat them. Thank you for joining me for this Motivational Mondays. We'll see you here next week.